Hi, everyone. Like I said, I'm Emily Reid from Girls Who Code. I am a computer scientist and engineer by training, but I've also been an educator for a long time. I'm really excited to see all the involvement with Girls Who Code already today. And actually, the companies of our two keynote speakers today, Pixar and Verizon, sponsor our summer immersion programs, which are a 7-week program for girls to learn computer science. So we're very grateful to them for that. I actually got involved with Girls Who Code originally by teaching our summer immersion program in Miami, which was sponsored by Verizon Terramark, and I don't know if Felicia's still here, but Judith Spitz and Rose Kirk and some of the women she mentioned came to speak to our girls and were incredible role models and mentors to them, and were incredibly inspiring. So that piece is extremely important, and I'm glad we're talking a lot about that today. So at Girls Who Code, we have two main programs, our summer immersion program that I mentioned and our clubs program, which it sounds like is what Janisha volunteers at, which is fantastic. So there are a number of aspects of this program that have been very successful in teaching girls to code and expanding computer science education within their own communities, because I think there are a number of important things that we've found that are takeaways that are helpful takeaways for things that you all have done and are already working on. So it's part of a large conversation that I'm glad that we're continuing. So we believe from what we've seen that girls bring a unique perspective to whatever they're creating. And the underlining part of our curriculum is that we are trying to teach girls how to use computer science to solve any kind of problem that they're interested in. So the way that we do this is through two main factors in our curriculum. One is through focusing on computational thinking, and the other is having a completely project-based curriculum. So the reason why we focus on computational thinking, that means we really emphasize those underlying concepts, such as for the coders out there, for focusing on loops and conditionals and functions and understanding all of that deep underlying logic before focusing on specific languages, because we all know that the popular language of the time is going to change, right? Like years ago it was more C++ and Java, now everyone's learning Python and JavaScript. In a couple of years it's going to be something completely different. But we're trying to give them the skills so that they are prepared for success as the technologies of choice change, as what they're interested in changes, so that they can have a really solid logical foundation. The other part of our curriculum that's very important is that everything is completely project-based. So the reason why we do this is we want the girls to be very creative with what they're building in the classroom, so that they can inject a lot of their own creativity and their own vision into what's being done. We've talked a little bit today about how to combine technology with other areas that students are interested in, and also combining with, say, like art and design. So we want to show girls that computer science is not just sitting in a dark room writing code with like nothing going on around you and eating a bag of chips and some 7-Up or something, right? We want to show them that whatever their fantastic vision is, that's something that they're empowered to visualize and create and manifest through computer science. So that's on the skills side. We really try to give these girls not just exposure to computer science, but real hard skills, so that then when they walk out of our programs, they can actually say, I created something. They can walk out with a web application or a game that is showing something important in their community or is solving an interesting social problem. They can walk out and share that game or that app or whatever that creation is with their family and with their friends, so that they can teach them about technology as well. A few other important aspects of our program that we've already touched on a bit today, but I think are important to underscore, is focusing on mentorship and role models. So we have a number of speakers who come in to show girls what else they can do in computer science and in technology, so that we're exposing them to a number of areas, no matter what their interests are. And that mentorship piece is really huge. You know, just talked about that. In my experience, that was really crucial in continuing when I first experienced imposter syndrome in my Intro to Computer Science classroom. That is really, really important. And it's also important, as we mentioned, for male allies to step up to that. So women are really important role models, and we all need to be out there. I think all women need to be out there showing other girls what they're doing and sharing their experience. Because when we look up to someone and see, what we say at Girls Who Code is you can't be what you can't see. So if you're looking up to someone and you can see, oh, I identify with them in some way, they're like me in some way, or they come from the same background as me, they're much more likely to feel empowered and confident in their own technical ability. But male allies are very important in this conversation. It's a crucial part of changing this huge gender gap that's existed for a very long time and is going in the wrong direction. And the only way that we can do it is together. The other important part of our summer immersion experience that I think has been very successful and is growing for our club's experience is a continuing, ongoing support network. So I think for, if you're not involved with Girls Who Code, I'd love you to be, but for all the organizations that you're involved with, I think this is something to think about, and it's an example of just what we're doing here, is continuing that support and conversation. So I'll give you a fun example. We have a Facebook group for some of our summer immersion program alumni, and they use it to support each other. They'll say things like, oh, you know, I'm in college now, I'm in my first weed out computer science class, like anyone else having this problem? Or, you know, the president of my robotics club is kind of being a bully to me and not letting me use the 3D printer. What should I do? Things like that. And they're sharing hackathons and scholarship ideas with each other. So they're very empowered to support each other, and I think that's a really incredible thing. We also see that these girls come up with just fantastic technical creations once they have the skills and the confidence to do whatever they want. So we've seen a number of really fascinating final projects that the girls work on. For example, actually in my classroom last year, there was a group of 4 girls created a project called ThermAlert. They used an Arduino device, and they put it underneath a car seat, and it had a temperature and a pressure sensor. So it sent an emergency text message to a parent if their child was in the car seat and the car was overheating. They had heard a number of those, it was during last summer, and there were a number of those really unfortunate stories, and they said, this is a problem, and how can we use technology to solve it, right? So I have a number of other examples like that I could share, but they're using this technology in really creative ways to solve things that they're extremely passionate about. Another statistic that was very exciting about some of our work, and I think echoing the point about, you know, when you teach someone to code, they'll teach someone else. We have 92% of our girls after the program teach another girl how to code. And that's an incredibly powerful statistic. And it's partially, you know, I think that there's unique things that we're doing that are helping that, but it really goes to show that these girls are a powerful force. And I think not just women, but young girls are really, really powerful in making this change happen. And so I think that empowering them to go into their communities to say, oh, I want to teach my friend how to code, or I'm going to teach my little sister how to code. That's an incredibly powerful force for exposure. So I think the bottom line for me in solving big X problems is that the only way that we can create these innovative solutions and identify problems that need to be solved and identify those incredible solutions for them is to get women at the table and to get girls at the table. And we need to do that through giving them real skills, giving them the confidence they need to complete those skills, and showing them how creative they can be with technology.